What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be speaking on crop circles, man. And you know, ever since I can remember, we've been getting fed nothing but bullshit when it comes to crop circles. They try to say that a lot of these crop circles were done overnight, but not only just overnight, but done within a couple hours overnight. And when you look at some of these crop circles, man, you could tell this shit would take 10 years for a human to do. I mean, some of these crop circles are really high tech, and some of them got meanings to them, meanings that we didn't even figure out until just recently, that they're some type of mathematical equation, or it's, you know, it's some crazy shit, man. You know, I can't even really explain some of these, what they mean, but and a lot of them we don't know what they mean, you know what I mean? So but yeah, man, in this video I actually got some footage of how these crop circles are actually being made, and the meaning behind them, what some of them mean, and even what, you know, let's just get into the video, man. I don't want to spoil it, you know what I'm saying? Let's just get right into the video. Check this shit out. This shit is nuts, man.
From this height, Oliver's Castle, one of the most often debated observations, was made early one morning in 1996. A young man who had spent the night here and had brought a video camera with him was woken during early dawn by a humming sound.
1996, but yeah, this is my first time ever seeing this.
Here I'm standing at Oliver's Castle at precisely the same spot as John Whaley was standing in August 1996, when he supposedly, for the first time in history, managed to film the creation of a crop circle.
Check that out. No wonder why I haven't seen this.
That the crop circle was not here on the previous day but had appeared on the following morning was a fact. That John Whaley was here at dawn could be confirmed by a military patrol that happened to be jogging by at the time. John went to the local pub later that same day and showed his film to the people there. Even so, many believe that he had managed to manipulate the film with computer animation in the meantime, something that computer animation experts doubt. To overlay a perfect animation over a handheld, unstable film would need several days of work using the computer equipment of that time.
Yeah, not
Even today, the film
1996.
is still a great mystery, and John has gone underground due to the intense interest that his film created.
Damn, it looks just like the orbs and drones been chasing.
This group of people caught UFOs on camera creating crop circles at night. This group of friends heard rumors of farmers seeing lights at night, which made them go camp near a big field to see with their own eyes if the stories were true. At midnight, all of a sudden, various spherical lights resembling Chinese lamps appeared out of nowhere, emitting no sound whatsoever while hovering around, emitting a pulsating glow over their surface. The next morning, they went to the crop field to look for evidence and found a big crop circle created by the mysterious glowing spheres.
Check that out. Wow.
There were even crops twisted together in a very peculiar way.
Wow.
Many people think it was made by UFO fanatics overnight, but just the precision, size, and the way the crops were flattened makes it seem almost impossible to be done at night.
Yeah.
And here is what happened. In 2002
Whoa.
comes this enormous image of what you would have to call the typical world's interpretation of a gray alien being, now holding a disc. It's binary code that had to be translated.
The binary code depicted in the crop formation was translated as, "Beware the bearers of false gifts and their broken promises. Much pain, but still time. There is good out there. We oppose deception. Conduit closing."
Wow.
There is much happening here that is profound, is important, and we better pay attention, because it means that there is something that is non-human that is trying to convince us that this was the genuine intelligence behind the crop formations, and that it was depicting itself as a gray and transmitting in binary code.
Wow. That's a
Could the
trip.
binary code depicted in this crop formation contain an otherworldly message sent to assist humankind?
It's almost like a QR
So let's
code.
talk about crop circles and humans from another planet. This is a juicy one for you folks. I just got back from a 3-day retreat with the amazing Sarah Bressman Cosme and Suzanne Spooner, and they did this like grand finale. It was so cool at the end of day 3, where Suzanne Spooner put Sarah Bressman Cosme into a deep, and I mean deep, meditative trance so that she could channel a higher intelligence, and we were allowed and able to ask questions while she was in this super deep trance. And the entity that she was channeling was so cool. I'll do another video on this, but turns out it was actually part of the law of one. It wasn't raw, we don't think, but it was associated with the law of one. So it was bringing us just mind-blowing information, and I was able to ask some questions. And one of the questions I asked was about crop circles. And I'll play you the exact audio from this trance, from this channeling in just a second, but let me talk about it real quick. So I asked, you know, crop circles in my research seem to be a communication device coming from something to someone, right? So I asked basically that. Is it a communication device? And if so, who's communicating and who are they communicating to? And her answer is coming up right now.
They are done by plasma beings, which is a high consciousness who has agreed to bring symbols that are already commonly used on most of the places where humans originate. The crop circles are coded information that needs to be looked at through the eyes, which
Third eye.
transmits information into the
Subconscious,
subconscious, which reawakens the information from the originating sphere where the human comes from. These are a communication device.
Makes sense.
Boom, right? So what she's basically saying is that these crop circles are like pictograms, okay? Picture this. If someone shows you a picture of a Christmas tree, they don't have to explain anything. With that one symbol of a Christmas tree comes a wave of information, like the thought and the feeling and the smells of Christmas and the sights and sounds and all the memories from Christmases past and all the things having to do with Christmas, right? All of this flood of information comes into you immediately when you see just a pictogram of a Christmas tree, right? So that's what these crop circles are, is it might just be a geometric pattern or design, right? But these come from our originating planets. So humans didn't originate on Earth, especially our progenitors and our ancestors originated far out in the cosmos. And we're just another iteration of it. So somebody seems to be communicating with us, giving us this information. So how do they work? Well, just like she said, by us just seeing that picture, just like if you see an outline of a Christmas tree, it's all you got to see, just a symbol, a logo of a Christmas tree, and now all the Christmas thoughts come flooding in, right? So that's how these pictograms work, by them just imprinting these plasma, conscious sentient plasma beings, these orbs, which are just conscious plasma, are imprinting this pictogram into a field. And then when we see it, it goes into our collective subconscious and it activates this dormant memory that's sort of just in our DNA. It's in our being, right? It's just kind of there. It's this fundamental ancient knowledge that as soon as we see that picture, it activates it. And then we just know this information, right? We don't even know that we know it. We don't even know that we're learning it. We don't even know that we're activating it. We don't know anything. So Dolores Cannon, interesting enough, years ago said the best thing you can do with crop circles is just routinely look at them. So I actually ordered a book, a crop circle book, a couple years ago that I have on my coffee table. And it's just big pictures of crop circles. Every once in a while I just flip through and just look at the pictures. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not trying to decipher what it is or anything. I just look at it. Just look at it like you do art. Just appreciate it. Look at the design. Look at it. They're pretty, man. I mean, they're beautiful designs in these beautiful fields. It's beautiful. So just look at it. And by just looking at crop circles, we are activating that internal knowledge, and it's just going into us, and we just boom, like an instant download. And who knows what that knowledge is? But I really think it has to do with our awakening process, our ascension process that we're going through, is why we're seeing so many more over the last couple decades crop circles in such more complexity, because they're relaying more and more information.
Now we're seeing a lot more than just crop circles.
Really complex, and I think that it's just filling us up with this knowledge that we need, that basically jump-started. If you think about it, like around the time crop circles came into the picture is when our species seemed to like really ignite this rapid spiritual ascension process. So I thought that was super fascinating. What an amazing experience to be able to ask Sarah Breastman Cosme a question when she's in a deep trance and connected to a higher intelligence that is part of the law of one. Oh my God, are you kidding me? And now I think everyone should go look at some crop circles and have a beautiful day, my friends. Peace.
What do you feel about the crop circles?
It's funny that you instinctively just said that, because that's kind of what I've realized they are. They're cymatics of the earth speaking to us. And what's interesting is there's videos where these little orbs come about, and then you see this design being drawn. And that those orbs, I've learned, are the compression of certain materials stacked on top of each other, which then create the orbs. That's where like all those people, when they're like, oh, there's all these ghosts over there. Well, there's actually compressions of certain types of materials which stack together, create a chemical reaction, and then you have this orb. But I believe with
kind of lost me there,
that it's Mother Earth speaking to us. And when I started to look at all of them, I started to see designs, I started to see like inventions, I started to see actually a lot of things related to atmospheric energy. You know, I started to see alignments, like things like the eclipse and how like significant the eclipse is. And like even here, we had 2 eclipses, you know, in 2 weeks. And if you stared into it, your energy goes through the roof. You know, so all these things that Mother Earth is trying to communicate with us. And like you said, we used to be tapped into this. We used to be able to see these frequencies, or at least tap into that. And we've disconnected and lost that. But the crop circles thing's just as wild, because they even said too that people will meditate in them, their energy will go very high, or they'll notice all these plants, that same thing, the plant growth is like wild. And they noticed, what's the other thing? They noticed like all these different types of rare plants popping up in that same spot. So it's almost like, in my opinion, Mother Earth is trying to communicate us and trying to tell you something, and you need to pay attention. But we don't understand it anymore because we speak with this new language that we have instead of symbols and shapes and understanding fractals or frequency. You know, because everything has a frequency, everything is a fractal, you know, everything is designed into that. And Marcel Vogel did a lot with that. He did a lot with his crystals and talking to plants and creating liquid crystal displays. But crop circles kind of took me to about 1,000 different other rabbit holes that I didn't know I was going to lead to. But it was just remarkable to understand that, you know, this energy is there. It's always present. And, you know, it's for us to tap into. Otherwise, it gets named when pseudoscience and all the Rockefeller terms and everything else.
The perfectly symmetrical design is a phenomenon known as a crop circle. And it is just one of many strange patterns that appear in the English countryside every year.
Crop circles are basically features, designs, illustrations of high complexity in
check that one out, man.
To be complicated designs.
Very complicated.
Origin.
They try to say these are man-made. Come on,
They've
man.
been undergoing this amazing sort of ramp up in sophistication. You can find these huge, what they call pictographs, that span hundreds of feet across
Every
the whole
circle is
field,
perfect. Every
featuring
line is
multiple
perfect.
Components. And they're
Look
arranged
at that
with
one.
mathematical precision.
Crop circles
Wow.
appear in more than 50 countries, and there literally have been thousands of them, maybe over 10,000 crop circles.
If y'all want to do some real Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy stuff on a next level, I'm gonna tell you what are also sigils, but nobody really perceives it like that, which are nothing but what you call what do you call these things?
Crop circles. Crop circles.
Crop circles.
Yeah.
Get you some crop circles, family. Right? Take the crop circle, put it under your pillow when you go to sleep. And watch your subconscious mind connect to this energy, right? This is an energy. So
Really?
this is a random one I pulled up, right?
Try that.
Now I done went on some incredible galactic trips.
See if this guy is full of shit.
Forget the mushrooms, forget the
He
peyote.
said, forget the mushrooms.
Put this under your pillow. I double dog dared it. Put it under your
I'm gonna try
pillow
that.
and watch what happens, family. Put one of these crop circles. If you want to go on another level, because this is already sigils right here. A sigil is a symbol or a signal, right? Once you create it, it sends off a signal to your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind already knows what it means before you even write it. It is the super mind, right? And when you put something like this on your pillow and you fall asleep, you will, man, listen, I don't experience some stuff that is wild. Now, if you're scared, don't do it. Now, if you
That's
In
interesting.
2004, a mysterious rock was found near the Roswell crash site, bearing the same image as a crop circle that was discovered in Chiselden, England.
That's crazy.
On August 2nd, 1996.
Same exact design on a rock. How do you even put a design on a rock
On the
without
Roswell
breaking
rock, you have an almost identical symbol in England.
Wow.
To me, it's very fascinating because it essentially shows that they're trying to somehow communicate with us.
it in a totally different country?
Is
That's a trip.
that perhaps some of these crop circles indeed are messages from elsewhere. And elsewhere, in my opinion, means of extraterrestrial origin.
Like I said, it's almost like QR codes
Could it be that some crop formations
downloaded to
serve
your
as a
subconscious
medium
mind?
for extraterrestrial communication?
That's a trip, man.
Many crop circle researchers say yes, and suggest further evidence of this can be found by examining the advanced astronomical, scientific, and mathematical equations contained within them.
One formation had everyone baffled, and people were saying, well, what is this? Then a mathematician had a look at it and said, wait a minute, that's a representation of pi, and it's correct down to 10 decimal places.
Wow.
It's a representation of pi in a geometric sense. It's kind of interesting because the way you get pi out of it is the lengths of the different arcs in each segment. And what happens is there's these little notches in the spiral that let you know you're at the end of an arc. So you actually have to measure the arc lengths as you go around, and their lengths give you the digits of pi. And there's a little circle to give you the decimal point. So it's a really interesting example of using geometry as a code for representing digits and numbers.
But yet humans made
It
all
just
these.
shows the level of knowledge, mathematical knowledge, geometric skill that goes into making these things. Many of the most famous crop circles actually derive from fractal patterns. The Mandelbrot set, the Julia set.
Wow.
To make these, you have to have knowledge of math. Mathematics is, of course, the universal language. If we ever encounter aliens, they're not going to speak English or French or German. We'll speak and we'll communicate via mathematics.
Huh.
Could crop circles, as some believe, be an attempt from an alien civilization to reach out and communicate with us?
Hopefully they don't try to reach out to me because I was
Consistent
never
amount of
very good
sacred
at math.
geometry, tetrahedrons, cubes, octahedrons, and even more complex geometric patterns. Many of our best and top scientists are now saying that this geometry is the secret keys to the higher dimensions, and it's right there in the crops, as if they're giving us a trail of breadcrumbs showing us how to get to the next level as a planet.
How insane was that, y'all? That is mind-blowing shit right there, man. I mean, I just can't believe that they try to tell us that all these crop circles were man-made. I mean, you could just look at some of those crop circles and tell, like, there's no way any human on Earth made this in a couple hours overnight. I mean, how stupid do they think we are? You know what I'm saying? And what else is a trip is, you know, some of them orbs that was caught on camera making these crop circles look just like dead on the orbs that these drones, these so-called drones, are chasing. You know, and that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day, but looks like these orbs have been around for a long time, and you know, they've been making crop circles and they've been busy, and now they are coming out to play. You know what I'm saying? They are outside now. They are showing up and showing out. They are giving us a show. So what you guys think about all this, man? Do you guys still think crop circles are man-made? Do you guys think this whole little clip I just showed you was a bunch of bullshit? Or is it opening up your mind a little bit? Are you starting to see through the bullshit? You know, this shit is a trip, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you guys watch this whole little spill on crop circles, go ahead and smash that like button for me. My bad, I'm a little tired, so I'm gonna make this one short. Y'all have a good one.